Hey everyone, welcome to our first project of this amazing course, Master Python through the creation of 10 unique projects. So in this video, I will guide you through the fundamental steps to create a face detection project using Python. So without further ado, let's just get started. For starting the facial recognition project, so these are basically the steps that will be involved in our project. So first step is importing OpenCV or CV2 library. So the question arises like, what is CV2 library in this project? That is really important. So CV2 is basically the module import name for OpenCV Python. So what does it actually do? So it basically allows you to perform image processing and computer vision tasks. You know, all those projects that involve like facial recognition and image processing. So that gets done with the help of OpenCV or CV2 library. Okay, so for this particular facial recognition projects, OpenCV or CV2 library is a must in this case. Okay, so that's why we have used that. And our step 2 is going to be loading the hard case classifier. This is also another important library for image processing and facial recognition projects. Then step 3 is going to be reading and pre-processing the image. Then we'll move to our step 4, which will be the reading the input image. So we'll do all that code that will help us to read the particular input image. Then our step 5 is going to be face detection and drawing rectangles around faces. So this will be the step 5. You know, after we are done with all the face detection and everything, so now we need a proof. We need something that will show like is detecting our face successfully or not. So for that, we'll draw rectangles around the faces. And our last step will be displaying the resulting image and closing the window. So that is also really important as well. So yeah, now let's just go ahead and jump right into our code. Alright, so here I am with my Visual Studio Code open. So over here, it's totally up to you. You can use any tool or any compiler. You can use a Visual Studio Code. You can use PyCharm. It's really up to you. But for myself, I'll be using Visual Studio Code because I found it the most convenient for me. So yeah, first of all, you need to create a new file. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new file. It will be the Python file, okay? And then we'll start writing the code right away. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to need to do, you need to basically import OpenCV or CV2 library, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and write import CV2 right here, okay? So why is OpenCV2 important? Because obviously, as you guys have seen in the previous video, this line basically imports the OpenCV library, which is really a popular open source computer vision and also a machine learning software library. So in short, if you say, is basically used for various image processing tasks, okay? So for image and video kind of projects, OpenCV or CV2 library is always a must. And now we'll come to our second step, which is loading the hard cascade classifier, okay? So that is also another really important thing. So first of all, let's just write the code. I'm going to type here face. Okay, so this is another really important step. So this particular line of code basically initializes a cascade classifier with the XML file, okay, as you guys can see right over here. So this file basically contains pre-trained models for detecting frontal faces using the hard cascade algorithm, as you guys can see over here. Okay, let me just rectify this quickly. All right, so you know, whenever you are dealing with any image or video kind of a thing, let's just say in our case, we are working on a project that will be detecting faces on particular images. So for that, the import CV2 library as well as the cascade classifier with XML file is really, really important. Okay, so these are basically the basics, you can say. Okay, so now we'll move to our next step, which is reading the input image. So now the step comes when you provide your code the image that you'll be working on. Okay, so you provide the image, and in that our whole code that will be writing with time, it will detect face on that image. So for that, I'm just going to write a code here, which is cap equal to cv2 dot video capture. Okay, here it is. And in parameter, I'm going to take a file. Let's just say I'm going to take elon.jpg. Okay, let me just put this in commas. Okay, so why I put elon.jpg? Because obviously I have taken 2-3 photos, 2-3 JPG images, which I have already put it in my folder over here, which is multi-image detector. I put it a folder in my VS Code. I have imported 2 to 3 images over here. So now you can choose any images between them. I can simply go ahead and put 1. I can simply go ahead and put 2 over here. It totally depends on you. You can import as many images as you want in your folders. So for that, if I can tell you quickly, it's really important. Let's just say I go to my file over here, folder over here. If I want to choose this image, particular image, so I can simply click it and just drag it to my folder. and I have this image with me right away. Okay, so this is really important. So now, yeah, let's just quickly go back to our code. And our next step is gonna be, we'll be reading and processing the image. Okay, so now the image has been imported. All the working has done. We have imported the library. So now what we need to do, we need to basically write a code that will process and read that particular image. Okay, it will read the whole structure, the face, and it will tell us or detect like the face on that. Okay, so for that, what type or what code you're gonna write? Let's just quickly see that. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna write ret commas image. So we'll take image in that, and that will be equal to cap.read. So let me just quickly tell you what this is all about. So this line basically reads a frame from video capture object. Okay, so the image will provide, this will basically read the frame from that from that image object, and that will store it into the variable image. Okay, so image is equal to cap.read, so that will basically read all the details and it will store that into our image. And right over here, this is just a boolean value or boolean expression that will indicate like whether our operation was successful or not. So this is just kind of a confirmation expression. Okay, so this is basically our main function. It will take image and that will be equal to cap.read. So this particular variable will read all the details on our image. Okay, so now comes the grayscaling part. That is really important concept for you guys to understand. Let me just quickly write that. First of all, we'll type gray equal to cv2.cvt color, and in parameter we take image.cv2 color again underscore bgr2 gray. Okay, so now what is the purpose of that? So this line basically will convert the image from color to grayscale. Okay, so why need to convert the grayscale? Because obviously we need to see all the dimensions, all the particular things. So with the help of a grayscale process, it will help us to identify or recognize the face in that particular image. Okay, so that's why the grayscaling process is really important in this project. So grayscale images are basically, those are commonly used in computer vision tasks, and that reduces the computational load. So that's why we need to first convert our colored image to a grayscale image. All right, okay, so now the next step is basically to create a function, a detect multiscale function of the hard cascade classifier that we just did earlier above. So now we create a main function that will help us to identify the face in the image. Okay, so now comes the main part. Let's just quickly write the function, then I will explain to you guys. Okay, so this particular function or a line of code uses that detect multiscale method, as you guys can see right over here. So this is basically used to detect faces in that grayscale image. Okay, so as you guys can see now, the colored image has been converted to grayscale in this step, and in the next step will basically be detecting the faces in that particular grayscale image. So that's why we have created a function for that. And it basically takes a grayscale image, a scaling factor of 1.3 and a minimum number of the neighboring zones to be considered face, which is actually 5 in this case. Okay, so these are the dimensions that we take for our particular image. So now what is the next step? The next step is basically okay, so everything has been detected, our face is detected. So now it is really important for a project to show us like it has detected that particular face. So how it's going to do that? We'll basically draw a border around the face showing that it has detected that face for us. Okay, so how we'll do that? So we'll basically draw the rectangles around the face. Okay, so for that we'll be applying for loop. So let me just quickly write the code for you guys. First of all, will basically iterate over the detected faces, and that will draw the rectangles around them using the cv2.rectangle function, as you guys can see over here. So we'll draw a rectangle, a border around the face. So yeah, now let's move to our next step, which will be of displaying the resulting image. Okay, so let's just quickly write the code for that. Okay, so after this step, we have displayed the image. So now, well, we need to close the image. Okay, so for that, we'll write a code cap.release. So with this, it will basically help us to close our image for us. So cap.release, and finally, we'll write cv2.destroy all windows. Okay, so this will basically deallocate any associated memory usage. Okay, so destroy all windows. We take empty parameters now. Okay, so now our code has been completed. So now let's just go ahead and run this code and see whether it's going to work for us or not. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this file. First of all, I'm going to hit Control S, and let's just quickly rename this as face detection project. Okay, our file has been saved. So now I'm just going to go ahead and press F5 to run this. Okay, yeah, so as you guys can see, it's working for us absolutely fine. So as you guys saw, we took Elon in that as our image, and it was able to recognize the face of Elon Musk in this image successfully. So it drew a rectangular kind of a border around his face. So yeah, that's working absolutely fine. So if we can go ahead and change the image for us, okay, so let's just go ahead and go for this image, Usman.jpg. Let me just go for that. This is actually my image. So if I go ahead and run this code, so now it will detect the face of this particular image, which is doing absolutely perfect. So this was basically a quick tutorial of how you can build a face detection project using very simple lines of code. This is basically a really simple method. There are actually 4 to 5 steps involved in that, which I discussed with you guys in this video. So yeah, I hope you like this project, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.